Action riperile minjani ipukile izumbile. My name is Pastor Gaza Maremeni, also known as Madam Speaker, Mani Speaker, Misara Inquiry. I am a self-taught fashion designer, I'm a digital creator, I'm a motivational speaker, I'm an electrical engineering technician by profession. A wise woman once said, everything that people don't understand, they destroy. Her name is Nulizu Fikizo. She said these words while I was sitting there. I had to go to the car, take my notebook, come and ask her name so that when I now speak, I don't mess up her name. She said that everything that people don't understand, they destroy. I'm echoing her words because I didn't write anything down. I didn't come prepared because when I was called, I was told that I'm going to be responding to men speaking. And when I was called and told that I should be responding to men speaking, I thought to myself, this is an opportunity of a lifetime for me because my niche is for women, my audience is women, and for me to speak in a place where men will be listening would be a place where I would thrive. Because when I heard a woman saying that everything that people don't understand, they destroy, it kind of made it so much easy for me to want to deliver whatever that is in my heart right now. Because my content is mostly about women empowerment and self-love and healing your inner child and healing as a woman, my focal point is women, it comes across as if I don't like men and I'm a bad influence for men. But the reason why it seems like that is simply because everything that people don't understand is destroyed. So for you to get me, for you to understand that what I'm speaking about is going to be beneficial, if not for your wife, but for your daughter or children that are going to be coming, your female, their child, you need to understand that, you need to understand it so that you won't have to destroy it. I wanted to find a way to speak about how women are treated or how women are handled in society, because every woman who rises up to speak and raise an awareness about self-love and self-care and putting yourself first is considered one rotten potato which must be removed from the sack, which must be removed from the bag, because it's going to make all the other potatoes rot. And that is not because that potato is rotten. That is because you don't understand that's a sweet potato, that's not a potato. So because you don't understand that this is a sweet potato, it's not a potato, you want to destroy it because it doesn't look like the rest. I would like to compare the new era of relation between men and women to the new era of apartheid. Stick with me, you'll get me. Back in the day, white people or people of Caucasians would freely and openly abuse black people, and it wouldn't be a surprise because that's just how things are. That's what they understand, that's what they've been taught. But today, from time to time, we get cases where black people are striking because there's one black person who has been treated a certain way by white people, simply because now the hatred that they have towards black people, they don't have to show it in public. I think the most lethal and dangerous form of hatred is the one that you can't show your opponent that I hate you. But when you're looking at your opponent or you're looking at the person that you hate, you have to pretend that you love them so that they don't see the real you. So that becomes more dangerous because it is confined. And now when that is confined, it means that when I now come closer to you, I'm thinking I'm coming to somebody that loves me. But when you know deep down in your heart that there is absolutely not even an inch of love that you have for me, you become more dangerous for me. More dangerous than a serpent for me. That is what men are to women today. Stick with me. Back in the day, our grandmothers used to be married off to our grandfathers. There would be second, third, fourth wives to an older man, a man who's even older than their fathers because of arranged marriages or whatever reason. But when we now look at a 16-year-old who has to be married to a 34-year-old, that is abuse. But before somebody came and made people aware that this is abuse that is happening, that was usual, that was normal, that was nothing. Back in the day, that was people who understand each other, and if anybody else comes and says this that you're doing is wrong, it should be destroyed because they don't understand that this is wrong, right? So now, going back to how I would like to compare the treatment of women from men to the apartheid era is that women used to be abused freely. A woman would be beaten up by her husband and it's nothing new, it's nothing unusual. Our grandparents, if my grandmother had a problem and she was not happy in her marriage, her husband would beat her up. If she goes home, her father would beat her up for her to go back home, to go back to her matrimonial home. And that was not abuse, that was a very usual thing, right? Same as how apartheid was a usual thing back in the day. But now because it's an illegal thing to do, people have to abuse and project their hatred towards black people in their secret places. That is why recently we had an incident where a white boy was pissing on a black boy because they hate black people, right? But if that was not recorded, if that was not publicized, it would have been something that happens in private, but that doesn't stop the hatred that some people still have for black people today. So now we have women who are being abused in their secret places, not because we think there's anything wrong with the abuse, or not because we want anything to be changed with the abuse system, but simply because, well, let's do it privately now. Because now, if we do it publicly, it's no longer legal. It's illegal to be an oppressor. It is illegal to call somebody with the K word. So it is illegal to beat up your woman in public. It is illegal to take a minor and marry them. So should we change the status quo or should we do it privately? What is now happening is that all of that is being done privately. Nothing has changed. The more things change, the more they stay the same. Nothing has changed. Women are still being abused every day. They're being killed every day. They're being raped every day. But simply because it's being done in a private place, that it is acceptable. And then when one woman steps forward and they say, let's create a safe environment for women. Let's come together as women and understand what self-love is. Let's come together as women and say, listen, it's okay to live in a relationship that is abusive. It's okay to walk away from a marriage which is toxic for you and your kids. That is one person we don't understand. And because we don't understand that person, anything that you do not understand, you destroy. With that being said, I want it to be a conviction. I see this feat to speak in the midst of men, because when I speak to women, it's a foreign thing. So my focal point on women is love yourself, respect yourself, understand yourself, be fulfilled, be okay with being who you are. But now when you say respond to men, how does it feel to be part of the government of the apartheid era but in your household? Let this be a conviction. Let this be something that speaks to you to say, am I really practicing what I'm complaining about every day? Every day I'm saying there is no equality between black people and white people. There are people who are still benefiting from the system of the white privilege. There are people who are still ripping off from just owning a farm, which they invested or which they inherited from their great-grandfathers. But I'm still also benefiting from the system which favored men. What am I saying? What am I doing with that? Am I going to keep quiet about it because it's comfortable for me? Because if I speak about it, then I'm taking food from my own mouth, because now my comfort zone is not so comfortable anymore. Am I going to change the status quo? Or am I going to do the same thing that the apartheid government is doing to say, because it doesn't affect me, because poverty of black people doesn't affect me, then let's just make peace, let's call it truce, but let us continue to reap from the government which was oppressing black people.